Now let's take a look at how you can add capabilities like sorting, pagination, and filtering to a table when you're reading data via HTTP. Let's go back to the function that we created in our earlier tutorial. And let's start with adding pagination so we're not loading all of the data at once. Now, our endpoint supports pagination through a URL parameter called page. So let's go ahead and add that here. This specifies what page of results to return. Internal uses what we call reserved parameters that map to each one of these capabilities. In this case, what we want to do is use the parameter page number. Similarly, our endpoint has a URL parameter called per-page, which specifies how many results to return on each page. And internal has another reserved parameter that maps to this exactly, and we call this page size. And once we've set this up, cool thing that you'll see here is pagination options appear in the run function section where you can set the page number and the page size. In this case, we're looking for the first page of results and 10 results. So let's go ahead and run this function. And you'll see now that we actually have 10 results that are returned. It's just the first page, results 0 through 9. And now if we use this function to go ahead and populate a table, it'll load the results page by page. Now let's go ahead and add filtering and searching. So our endpoint actually has another URL parameter called first name, which allows us to search first names. And internal's reserved parameter that matches up with this is something that we call filter. And the syntax is filter.fieldName. So in this case, we're going to use filter.first_name. And then we're going to add a little bit of JS here to guard against undefined values. The next thing that we need to do is go into the Inputs tab now that we have a new filter. And let's add first name as a plain text filter. And we're just going to allow the strict equals operator. Note that you can check any one of these, like does not equals, less than, contains. This will allow you to enable additional filtering capabilities. For example, if you want to be able to filter in any value that contains a certain string, you check this, or filter on anything that's greater than or equal to a certain integer value, you would select those operators here and configure the right field type. Finally, let's go back and add some sorting. Our endpoint uses order, which will identify the field to sort on, and another URL parameter called order type to determine what direction to sort in. These map to internal's reserved parameters, which are called sort by and sort ascending. You'll note that we've added a little bit of JavaScript to handle undefined values and also to convert true or false to ASC and DESC, which is the Boolean necessary in order to determine the sort direction. Now let's go to the Inputs tab and add some fields to sort on. So we'll go to sort and we'll add ID and first name. Let's go run our function to test it out. Let's go to sort and then actually select to sort the ID by ascending order. And then once we run this, we can see that it returns the first 10 results with our ID going in increasing numbers. So IDs 1 through 10. Now let's go check it out in a space. So we'll go ahead and save our function here. We'll close out and we'll add a table. And we'll choose the function we've just created. And let's go see it in action. So you'll see now that it's not loading all of the results. You'll see that there is some pagination But once you scroll down to the first page of 50 results, you'll see that there's load more, and then internal will automatically load the next set of results. You can also sort or order based on the ID that you have, and you can also search using first name. And you'll see that internal will just return those results. So that's it. That's how you add more advanced pagination, filtering, and searching using the internal reserved parameters.